Tonight's headlines: House power struggle over, says Palace. Cayetano's resignation offer a waste of time. PhilHealth privatization will send wrong signal. Coronavirus cases in the country now at 314,079. MGCQ in Metro Manila not impossible. LPA to bring rains over 3 areas in Luzon. PSEi boosted anew. And BSP approves 540 billion peso loan for Philippines deficit spending. Good evening. Today is Thursday, October 1, 2020. I am Elmer Navarro Manuel and this is Tribune News on Q. Here are the stories for this evening. Malacanang on Thursday announced that the struggle for the House of Representatives top post is over, following the rejection of House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano's resignation, even as it urged lawmakers to pass the national budget for the coronavirus pandemic fight. Under a gentleman's agreement that President Rodrigo Duterte brokered, Cayetano was supposed to serve as Speaker until October and pass the post to Marinduque Representative Lord Alan Velasco. Cayetano resigned on Wednesday, only for majority of lawmakers to reject his move immediately after. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said that the controversy is over since Cayetano has already offered to resign but was rejected, and he continues to be House Speaker. The Palace spokesperson added that Duterte respects the House decision to keep Cayetano as Speaker. Velasco, on the other hand, said Cayetano's political maneuverings and theatrics cost the House 2 days that were crucial in meeting the timeline for the 2021 budget. Congress will go on a 2-month break on October 17, and if lawmakers fail to pass the national spending plan before this, the government will rely on a reenacted budget that does not include allotments for the coronavirus pandemic. PBA Party List Representative Jericho Nograles disclosed on Thursday that House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano offering to resign during the plenary session and the subsequent vote among his colleagues was a waste of legislative time and an abuse of privilege. Nograles stressed that he did not participate in the proceedings because he found it a little absurd, since the internal rules of the House did not mention that a speaker can offer to resign as stepping down from the post is a personal choice and is not the body to decide. Nograles said Cayetano should have went with his initial intention of making his announcement over Facebook Live. To recall, Cayetano addressed the House plenary on Wednesday after meeting with President Rodrigo Duterte and Marinduque Representative Lord Alan Velasco, who was supposed to succeed him as House Speaker under a term-sharing deal. He said he was resigning to let Velasco prove that he could be in charge of deliberations on the 2021 budget. Immediately after his speech, allies moved to reject his offer and the plenary voted viva voce and later nominal voting, which saw 184 lawmakers elect to let him keep his post. The newly installed chief of the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation questioned on Thursday the suggestions to privatize the corruption-ridden agency, saying it would send the wrong signal. PhilHealth President and Chief Executive Officer Dante Guieran stressed that privatizing the PhilHealth will send a wrong message that the agency's officials are not capable of running the state health insurer. It was reported earlier that President Rodrigo Duterte had told Senate President Vicente Soto III in a recent meeting that he wants to abolish or privatize PhilHealth. This followed findings of both the Senate and the Interagency Task Force that several officials at the state health insurer, which covers medical bills of Filipinos, were liable for alleged irregularities in the agency. But Guieran said that while he respects Duterte's view, he is also worried that what would happen to PhilHealth members if the agency is handed over to some private firm's hands. Geran, a retired director of the National Bureau of Investigation, replaced Ricardo Morales, who resigned due to his bout with lymphoma at the height of a Senate investigation into alleged anomalies at PhilHealth. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
This is a very important story. The important story.
Pictures and stories.
Today, we feel the weight of history on our shoulders. The way we have been moving leads nowhere. We need to change course.
Since the United Nations was founded, the human race has never had to face a set of challenges like we do right now. But together, we can overcome them.
The Department of Health reported 2,415 confirmed coronavirus disease cases on Thursday to bring the total number of infections in the country to 314,079. Metro Manila still logged the highest number of new infections at 930, followed by Cavite with 238, Rizal with 128, Laguna with 123, and Negros Occidental with 103. The number of recoveries, on the other hand, rose to 254,223 after 771 more patients recovered from the respiratory disease. The death toll now stands at 5,562 with 59 new fatalities recorded. The other 54,294 are active cases undergoing treatment or quarantine. 86.6% of which are mild, 9% are asymptomatic, 1.4% are severe, and 3.1% are in critical condition. As of September 30, the Philippines has 138 licensed laboratories that had tested over 3.5 million individuals, while 46% of COVID-19 intensive care unit beds nationwide were occupied and 25% of mechanical ventilators were in use. The University of the Philippines OCTA group estimates that total cases to reach 380,000 to 410,000 by the end of October. In other news, the Palace on Thursday disclosed that downgrading the coronavirus lockdown of Metro Manila to the least stringent of 4 levels by next month is not an impossibility. This as the government is seeking to revive the economy that the coronavirus disease pandemic dragged into recession. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said that placing Metro Manila under MGCQ next month may be possible because cases are slowly decreasing, but it will still be up to the other agencies to recommend such downgrade. Metro Manila, home to roughly a tenth of the Philippines' 100 million population, accounts for a third of the country's gross domestic product. MGCQ will allow 75% of the economy to reopen. A clustering of coronavirus cases and the high occupancy rate of hospital beds earlier prevented authorities from placing Metro Manila under this lockdown level, according to the Department of Health in an earlier statement. State Weather Bureau Pagasa on Thursday announced that the throw of a low-pressure area is expected to bring cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms over Batanes, Isabela, Cagayan, including the Babuyan group of islands. In its 24-hour forecast, the weather agency warned affected residents of possible flash floods or landslides during severe thunderstorms. At 3 p.m. on Thursday, the LPA was estimated at 965 kilometers east of Basco, Batanes. The southwest monsoon and localized thunderstorms may meanwhile bring partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers over Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Flash floods and landslides are also possible. Pag-asa said the southwest monsoon is affecting the western section of southern Luzon and Visayas. Sunrise is at 5:45 a.m. and sunset will be at 6:44 p.m. We'll pause for a short break. Stay with us.
Bilang bagong mag-asawa, sabay kaming natututo sa buhay.
Sabay rin namin inaaral ng mga bayarin sa bahay.
Kahit kami, nagtaka sa biglang laki ng electricity bill namin. Huwag pong mangambang maputulan. Sinisigurado ng Meralco na walang disconnection hanggang September.
Estimated bills lang ang natanggap natin ng March, April at para sa ilan, May. Dahil sa lockdown, isang tabi to para hindi na maguluhan.
Ang May o June ay actual meter reading na. Kung May, nagka-actual reading, ibabawas dito ang huling reading bago mag-ECQ. Yan lang po ang ating babayaran hanggang 3 buwang konsumo.
Kung estimated reading sa May at June nagka-actual reading, ibabawas din dito ang huling reading bago mag-ECQ. Yan lang po ang ating babayaran. Hanggang 4 na buwang konsumo, walang labis. Tandaan, kung ano lang na konsumo,
Yun lang ang babayaran.
ako po si Mateo G.
At ako naman po si Sarah G.
G?
G!
In business, a slew of positive economic news both here and overseas boosted the Philippine Stock Exchange Index on Thursday, which backed the peso. The main equities index rose by 1.38% or 80.64 points to 5,944.87 points, while the all shares increased by 0.95% or 33.43 points to 3,562.28 points. Most of the sectoral counters also tracked the main index led by financials, which rose by 1.87%. Regina Capital Development Corporation Head of Sales Luis Limlingan attributed the risk-on sentiment in the local bourse partly to the higher-than-projected rise of private sector employment growth in the U.S. last month to 749,000 jobs from expectations of about 650,000 jobs. Volume totaled 1.96 billion shares amounting to 5.43 billion pesos. Decliners led advancers at 108 to 81, while 53 shares were unchanged. Meanwhile, the local currency ended the day sideways against the US dollar after finishing the trade at 48.43 from 48.495 on Wednesday, as it opened the day also sideways at 48.46 from the previous session's 48.41. Trading between 48.51 and 48.41 for an average of 48.458. And the Philippine government has secured another loan from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, this time worth 540 billion pesos, to provide budgetary support amid the deficits due to the COVID-19 pandemic. BSP Governor Benjamin Jocno said the BSP approved the request for the 540 billion peso loan on Thursday. To recall, Jokno on Wednesday said the administration requested the fresh loan as budget support and deficit financing as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. The new loan follows the 300 billion peso lent by the central bank to the government in March through the form of securities. Documents released by the Bureau of the Treasury on Wednesday showed that the national government's running debt balance was at record 9.615 trillion pesos as of end August, 21.1% higher than the same month last year. That wraps up the stories tonight. Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune Digital Edition and Press Reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its community Viber Katribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarsito emoticons are also available on our community Viber. Just click on the link in this video to join. And before we go, we would like to thank the SM store for my shirt and jacket this evening. Again, this is Elmer Navarro Manuel and you're watching Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good night and God bless us all.
Magsha-shopping na lang ako!
Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver. Hello, can I get the following? One pink chair, bed sheets, na pink yung sofa, tapos slide, size 8, pajamas na blue. Oh, don't forget my hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
Wait lang, okay ba yan?
Anything at the SM store, ma'am.
Call to deliver.
Kuya, pwede rin ba ako magpa-deliver sa ate ko sa Taguig, tapos sa friend ko sa Davao, tsaka sa, cancel ko sa Lipa? Okay ba yan?
Kahit saan po, pwede kami
Call
mag-deliver.
to deliver. Call hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver. Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver. Call hashtag 143SM. Hashtag 143SM. Call to deliver.
Call na rin kayo.
Call to deliver.
Araneta City, home to the country's first indoor shopping mall, the world's original Thrilla, and the first ever Bini Bini pageant. Now a place for your first win, your first catch, your first home, your first big break, your first date, and even your first love. Araneta City, the city of firsts.
Ang Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators o POGO ay isang legitimate business entity na nagbibigay serbisyo sa offshore gaming para lamang sa mga manlalarong nasa abroad sa pamamagitan ng internet. Ang mga serbisyong handog nito ay katulad ng casino games at sports betting na pwedeng laruin kahit wala sa casino. Sa Pilipinas, walang POGO operators. Tanging POGO service providers lamang dahil nagaganap ang mga laro sa labas ng bansa.
Click, that's it. Never thought self-service can be this slick. Modify plans in a snap. Walang hirap, it's a wrap. Just tap the app. Now you can check, view, subscribe, renew. Help and support for you. Out with the ring apps are the in thing. You know what to do. Globe at home and Globe One. All in the Globe app na yan. Self-service and easy to use. Mas okay tayo dyan. Globe at home and Globe One. All in the Globe app na yan. Instant response, no hold time pa, wala nang hintayan. Download Globe at Home and Globe One app, all in the Globe app na yan.
Download the Globe One and Globe at Home apps from Google Play Store and Apple App Store now.
Download Globe at Home and Globe One app, all in the Globe app na yan.
Good morning, sir. How may I help you?
Bakit kailangan ko pang pumunta sa bangko?
Oo nga naman, sir. Ba't kailangan pong pumunta sa bangko?
Why not get a UB app so you can do all these without going to the bank? Bank the way you live. Union Bank.